There is a moment when imagination feels heavy. Not because it is weak but because it has nothing to push against. You can feel this when someone asks you to picture something that is not there at all. You try. You focus. But your body stays still. Your eyes do not know where to land. This is where the story begins. In many creative fields there is a quiet drift toward less building and more pretending. Digital tools promise freedom. You can add anything later. You can fix it later. You can imagine it now. But something changes when the space around you gives you nothing back. Context matters here because technology did not remove the need for physical reality. It just made it easier to skip it. Blue screens and placeholders are efficient. They save time. They save money. They give flexibility. But efficiency is not the same as presence. When people step into a space that responds to them, their behavior shifts. Their posture changes. Their eyes move with purpose. Their reactions come faster. This is true on a film set and it is true in daily life. The surface insight is simple. People perform differently when they are given something real to respond to. Not perfect. Not finished. Just real enough. When actors sit inside a cockpit that surrounds them with light and motion, they do not need to pretend where to look. They do not need to count beats in their head. They react. Surprise becomes real. Fear becomes physical. Joy shows up without being planned. This does not mean actors cannot imagine. They can. They are trained to. But imagination works best when it has support. Think about how children play. Give them an empty room and they will still invent stories. But give them a simple box and suddenly it is a ship. A house. A cave. The object anchors the story. Adults are not so different. When the environment offers cues, the mind relaxes and the body joins in. The hidden assumption underneath the push toward pure digital space is that less reality gives more freedom. That if you remove constraints, creativity expands. Sometimes that is true. But often constraints focus attention. They reduce mental load. They tell you where to start. When everything is possible, nothing feels urgent. When stars appear in front of you and the room begins to shake, you do not need to decide how to react. Your body already knows. This is why people often feel more alive in places that are designed with care. A well-lit room invites conversation. A clear path invites movement. A real object invites touch. Without these signals, people hesitate. They wait for instruction. They perform in their head instead of with their whole body. Insight 3 is about pattern. When creators rely too much on placeholders, they ask people to split themselves. Half of the attention goes to the script. Half goes to imagining the missing world. This split reduces energy. It slows reaction. It flattens emotion. When the world is present, attention gathers in one place. Everyone looks in the same direction. Everyone reacts at the same time. This shared focus creates alignment. It is not just about realism. It is about coordination. When a giant shape appears on a screen, everyone knows where it is. When nothing appears, everyone waits for a cue. Real signals reduce guesswork. Reframing this idea takes us beyond film. This is not only about acting. It is about how humans learn and respond. We are embodied creatures. We think with our senses. We make meaning through movement and space. When environments are rich enough, behavior becomes more natural. This is why meetings held in cold, empty rooms feel stiff. This is why workshops with simple props feel more engaging. This is why learning improves when people can touch, test, and see instead of only listen. Digital tools are powerful. But they work best when they support reality, not replace it. Application to daily life is everywhere. When you want to have a difficult conversation, doing it face to face changes the tone. You see reactions. You adjust. When you want to focus, putting your phone away and clearing the desk helps your mind settle. When you want to motivate yourself, laying out your tools the night before reduces friction. These are small sets. They cue behavior. They invite action. Even habits work this way. If you want to exercise, placing shoes by the door matters. If you want to read, leaving a book open matters. You are not weaker for needing this. You are human. The deeper layer is about trust. When people are given a real environment, they trust it. They trust that what they are doing matters now, not later. This trust shows up as commitment. In creative work, first experiences shape everything that follows. When the first rehearsal feels alive, the next ones carry that energy. When the first attempt feels empty, people protect themselves. They hold back. Presence invites risk. Absence invites caution. This is why first impressions matter so much. The brain decides quickly how safe it is to engage. Real spaces communicate safety better than imagined ones. There is also joy in discovery. When people are not told everything in advance, they respond honestly. Surprise opens something playful. It breaks control. It allows laughter. That laughter becomes part of the performance. It cannot be added later. You can simulate many things with technology, but you cannot simulate a body reacting in the moment. That is either there or it is not. Over time, a culture that leans too hard on digital shortcuts forgets this. It starts to believe everything can be fixed later. But later never recaptures first response. Later edits movement, but it does not create it. This is a lesson for anyone building experiences. Whether you design products, classrooms, offices, or stories, ask what you can make real early. What can people touch, see, or feel now? Even a rough version helps. Even an imperfect signal helps. It tells the nervous system where it is. It frees the mind to play. When environments are alive, people bring more of themselves. And when people bring more of themselves, the work changes in ways you cannot plan. So as tools grow more powerful and options multiply, the quiet question becomes not what can we add later, but what do we need to make present now so that real reactions have something to meet. And when was the last time you noticed how your own behavior shifted simply because the space around you finally gave you something real to respond to?